And welcome to part 4 of my Transformers Fall of Cybertron Combaticon reviews. I do apologize for the gap between my 3rd and 4th videos. I just haven't had a whole lot of time to make videos, so I'm going to squeeze in one while I can. I also do apologize if I sound a little different. I am a little under the weather. I can't tell if it's just my allergies or it's a cold or what, but I do apologize for sounding a little under the weather. Anyway, this time we'll be looking at Transformers Fall of Cybertron Blast Off. And hands down, this guy has my favorite vehicle mode design. I think he's got one of the weaker robot modes. I will say that right off the bat, but overall, I think he, without a doubt, has the best vehicle mode. Not my favorite Combaticon, but pretty close to it, and mostly because I love this vehicle mode. I just think it's absolutely awesome. I just love this vehicle mode. It's a space shuttle, and space shuttles have fascinated me since I was a little kid, and I just think that he's awesome. I think he looks cool. As you can see, he is a space shuttle, as I've said. He's purple. He's got bits of black and yellow. A lot of people have complained that since he is Vortex, he should have, or not Vortex, I always get Blast Off and Vortex confused. A lot of people complain that since he is Blast Off, he should have some brown bits in him. I can see that, but personally, I don't mind this too much. I do wish that this yellow paint wasn't as vibrant, but, oh, what are you going to do? He does have some really nice silver bits on him, as you can see, with some great detail. I just love this silver color. It's kind of this off, it's not really chrome, sparkly silver, it's kind of this duller gray silver, and I really like it. I wish they would use it on figures more often. It looks really cool. There's not a whole lot to say about in terms of features. It doesn't have any wheels, unfortunately. No landing gear. I think it would have been nice had they worked in some landing gear, but no, I can live without it. He does have these two weapons on the side, which double as space shuttle fins. You can remove them if you want, and you have to for transformation. So I'll go ahead and take them off. And that's what it looks like without the fins. Personally, I like to leave them on just because I think it looks better, but it's all up to you. Either way works fine. And to get the limb mode, it's fairly simple. What you want to do is you want to take these two side pieces right here. You want to untab them. On this side, it's never been difficult for me, but this side really does like to stick. I don't know why. Go ahead and untab it. Then what you want to do is you want to bend it down and around like so. Do the same on this side, like so. Then you want to flip this whole piece around. You want to bend his leg in two, like so. Get something that looks like this. Then you want to flip out the hand. You can do it either way. There are two thumbs on each, or there's one thumb on each side of the arm. You can have it like this if you want to have it as a left hand, but I like to pose it in the official G1 Bruticus style with Vortex as the right arm, so we'll go ahead and do it like this. And then what you want to do is you want to connect these pieces. There's a tab right here, and then there's a slot in the middle of the other leg, and they match up, and you can tab them in. And then there's a little post right here that goes into this hole on the underside of the hand, like so, and then just tab those together, like so. I find it helps to bend it a little bit too, to help it to stay together a little bit better. It's not a very stable arm configuration, but what are you going to do? And there you have his arm mode, which, I will say it looks better in person, and there are ways that you can get it to look a little better, but I've found that almost all of those damage the structural integrity of the figure. So I usually just go ahead and leave it in the official position because I find that it's the best way, and plus it doesn't damage the figure. And also you want to go ahead and flip down the combiner port, like so. So yeah, not the best arm mode. A very, very weak limb mode. I think they could have done a little better, but you know, well, it is what it is. So anyway, moving on from the disappointing limb mode, what you want to do is you're going to go ahead and flip up the arms, or hands rather, for the combined mode. Then you want to go ahead and rotate this piece back around like so. Do the same on this side. Then what you want to do, go ahead and flip up the combiner port as well. Then what you want to do is you want to take this whole thruster section back here. You want to bend it. It does tend to happen when you try to do this. You want to take it, and you want to bend it up like so, or bend it down like so, so that it untabs from this whole section. And then you want to split it down the middle, like so. Then you want to straighten everything out, and then you want to take this whole piece, rotate it around. This will form his chest, tab that in, rotate his head around. Then what you want to do with these pieces is you want to take them, you want to flip them back, and you can see that there's black struts that have a tab right here, and that tab will tab into this little piece right here in the middle of his chest. You want to rotate that around, and then plug that in like so. Rotate his arm up around like so he has a giant shoulder pad. Do the same on this side, rotate the strut around, plug in that tab, rotate the shoulder pad up and around. Then you want to take this fin right here, you want to grab it and you want to bend it down, and then rotate his whole arm piece around like so. Grab it, untab it from the inside of the shoulder pad, rotate it around, and then just straighten everything up. And then to give him his weapons, you can do this two ways. The official way is to have them posed like this, with the fin off to the side. I personally don't like the look of that a whole lot. I like to pose them with the fins up, just because I think it looks a little bit better. And it works either way. It is a little bit more difficult to tab them in this position, but it still works either way, and I think this looks better, so I'm going to show it off like this in my video review. And there you have Blast Off in robot mode. Let's see if I can get him to stand a little straighter. Come on. Usually doesn't take this much effort to get him to stand straight, but there we go. So yeah, there you have Blast Off in robot mode. He looks pretty cool. Like I said, I think that his design overall is really nice. Unfortunately, there's some aspects of the toy that I think are pulled off a little weakly. Not that it's a bad design or anything. It's really it's really not the toy's fault. It's just replicating the design, and I think it doesn't do some things so well. Mainly with these shoulder pads, which I'll show off in the posability. He does have a pretty nice head sculpt. You can see there it uses that silver paint that I really like on the shoulder pads. Overall, it's just a really neat looking design. For posability, his head does rotate left and right. Mine is a little loose, which is a little unfortunate. It does appear to be on a ball joint, but I can't pop the head off to tighten it up. It doesn't go up and down either, which I think is a bit unfortunate, but oh well, what are you going to do? So his head does look left and right, which is nice. Now for the shoulders, which I mentioned is one of the weaker aspects of this toy. Unfortunately, the way that they're designed, they are hollow. You can move them around, but the way that they're designed, they're cut at an angle, so you can rotate them around 360 degrees, but since they are hollow and they are at an angle, you get to a position. If you get at a certain position, it starts to look like this, which is just awkward looking, which is a real shame. I think that they could have figured out a way to do it. Maybe maybe if these pieces had pushed off to the side, so that they sat up flush against his body, so they could rotate his arms around at the shoulder properly. But no, what are you gonna do? They do bend in and out as well, but like I said, just due to the awkwardness of that joint, it's not really that useful. He does have a hinge up here at the upper arm, and then a hinged elbow with a ball joint at the bottom of it, so he does have some rather posable lower arms, although like I said, the shoulders kind of hinder what you can do with the rest of his arms. No hand articulation, no waist articulation. His legs do go in and out at the hip. They also go back and forth. He does have an upper thigh swivel, which is nice. He bends at the knee. That's about it for posability. So he's one of the least posable of all the figures, which is a real shame. I think that had they done a few things differently, he would have been a really posable figure, but oh, what are you going to do? So yeah, overall pretty cool for a standard size comparison. Here he is next to Revenge of the Fallen Bumblebee. And you can see he's a little bit shorter than the average deluxe, not by much. At the shoulder pads, the fins come up to about Bumblebee's head, but at his head proper, he sits at about Bumblebee's chin. So he is just a little bit shorter than the average deluxe, but Vortex always was one of the smaller Combaticons, which doesn't make a whole lot of sense when you think about it, because if he's a space shuttle, then he should be bigger than the rest of the Combaticons put together. Although then again, this is the War for Cybertron space shuttle, so no telling what. Scale isn't really an issue in Transformers anyway. Or is it? But anyway. So yeah, there you go. My look at Transformers Fall of Cybertron Deluxe Class Blast-Off. Thanks for watching. Please subscribe and stay tuned to Part 5 of my Fall of Cybertron Combaticon reviews.